being alone doesn't always create feelings of loneliness. Research among long-lived individuals in Japan suggests that meaningful solitude practices may improve mental health and extend lifespan. Here are ways to embrace your alone time after retirement. When we think about retirement, we often focus on the financial aspects, ensuring we have enough saved, understanding our pension plans, and budgeting for this new phase of life. But there's another significant transition that comes with retirement that receives far less attention: the dramatic shift in how we spend our time and with whom we spend it. For many adults, the workplace provides not only income but also a built-in social structure. Colleagues to chat with, lunch partners, collaborative projects, and perhaps even friendships that extend beyond office hours. When this daily social framework suddenly disappears with retirement, many find themselves spending significantly more time alone than they ever have before. This transition can be jarring, and how we interpret and use this alone time can profoundly impact our well-being during retirement years. This brings us to an important distinction: the difference between loneliness and solitude. While these terms both describe being alone, they represent fundamentally different experiences with vastly different effects on our health and happiness. Loneliness is the painful feeling that occurs when there's a disconnect between our desired social connections and our actual ones. It's possible to feel deeply lonely even while surrounded by others, if those connections don't provide the quality or depth we crave. Research links chronic loneliness to numerous health concerns, including increased risk of cardiovascular issues, compromised immune function, depression, cognitive decline, and even shortened lifespan. Solitude, by contrast, is the state of being alone without feeling lonely. It's peaceful, rejuvenating time spent in one's own company. Studies suggest that positive solitude experiences may contribute to enhanced creativity, improved concentration, increased self-awareness, better stress management, and deeper relationships when we do engage socially. I'm Dr. Rachel Thompson, and for over 25 years, I've studied how adults navigate major life transitions, with particular focus on retirement adjustment. I've observed that how people approach their alone time often becomes a significant predictor of their satisfaction during retirement years. Today, I'll share evidence-based approaches for transforming potential loneliness into enriching solitude during this important life phase. Before we explore these strategies, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Each week, we share practical, research-backed approaches for navigating the challenges and opportunities of aging. And if you're experiencing significant alone time after retirement, type solitude in the comments below. I read every comment and value understanding your specific situation. Let's begin by understanding why the transition to retirement can sometimes lead to unexpected feelings of isolation. Beyond the obvious reduction in workplace interactions, several factors contribute to this challenge. First, retirement often coincides with other social changes. Children may have moved away, friends might relocate for their own retirement dreams, and some peers may face health challenges that limit their social availability. Additionally, our identity and sense of purpose are often closely tied to our professional roles. When these roles end, we may temporarily feel unmoored, questioning our place in the world and the value we bring to others. This existential dimension of retirement can intensify feelings of disconnection, even when social opportunities are technically available. The good news is that research from cultures with high longevity and well-being among older adults suggests that meaningful solitude, time intentionally spent alone in fulfilling ways, may actually contribute to mental resilience and life satisfaction. Studies of older adults in Japan's Blue Zone regions, where people commonly live active lives into their 90s and beyond, reveal interesting patterns about the role of balanced solitude in well-being. Many of these long-lived individuals practice what some researchers call active solitude, time alone that involves engagement, purpose, and presence rather than passive isolation. They might tend gardens, practice traditional arts, engage in contemplative practices, or simply observe nature with full attention. The key distinction is that their alone time feels chosen rather than imposed, and it contains elements of meaning rather than emptiness. Now let's explore specific approaches for transforming alone time into positive solitude after retirement, beginning with the practice of intentional solitude. This involves consciously choosing to spend time alone for specific purposes, rather than merely accepting aloneness as a default state when no social options are available. Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher, initially struggled with the quiet of her home after decades in bustling classrooms. "I found myself turning on the TV just for background noise," she shared. "But then I started designating certain morning hours as my contemplation time. I sit with my coffee, watch the birds at my feeder, and let my mind wander without distractions. These have become my most treasured hours, something I never had time for during my working years." This practice of intentional solitude, specifically setting aside time to be alone with your thoughts, has roots in various contemplative traditions, but is supported by contemporary research as well. Studies suggest that deliberately chosen solitude may help reduce stress hormone levels, improve attention, and support emotional regulation. To develop your own intentional solitude practice, consider scheduling specific times for being alone, just as you would an important appointment. Approach these times with purpose rather than seeing them as empty hours to fill. You might designate a particular chair, garden spot, or room as your solitude space to help create a mental association with positive alone time. Robert, a 68-year-old who had been retired for 3 years, found that creating morning and evening solitude rituals helped frame his days. "I start with 30 minutes of coffee and journaling on my porch, and I end with 20 minutes of reading poetry before bed," he explained. "These bookends of solitude give structure to my days in a way that my work schedule used to do, but now it's on my terms." Another powerful approach is cultivating what some psychologists call flow experiences during alone time. Flow is the state of being so absorbed in an activity that you lose track of time and self-consciousness. These experiences are intrinsically rewarding and can transform hours alone into deeply satisfying time. Flow activities typically involve a balance between challenge and skill. They're not so difficult that they cause anxiety, nor so easy that they lead to boredom. They provide clear goals and immediate feedback, allowing for complete concentration and a sense of control. For many retirees, creative pursuits offer rich opportunities for flow. Whether it's painting, woodworking, writing, cooking, gardening, or learning a musical instrument, these activities can provide the optimal conditions for absorbed engagement when alone. Elizabeth, a 76-year-old who had worried about having too much time on her hands after retirement, discovered the transformative power of creative flow. "I started taking watercolor classes 6 months before retiring," she shared. "Now I can spend 3 hours at my easel and it feels like minutes have passed. I've never experienced such complete absorption in an activity, and I've never felt less lonely despite being alone." If you're interested in cultivating flow experiences, reflect on activities that have previously absorbed your attention. What have you always wanted to try but never had time for? Consider taking classes or joining groups to learn new skills that you can then practice during solitude. Many community centers, continuing education programs, and online platforms offer learning opportunities specifically designed for older adults. Nature connection represents another powerful avenue for transforming alone time. Research suggests that time spent in natural settings may reduce stress hormones, lower blood pressure, improve mood, and enhance cognitive function. For many people, nature provides a sense of connection even when no other humans are present, a feeling of being part of something larger than oneself. William, a 74-year-old who had been an executive with a busy social calendar before retirement, found unexpected solace in daily nature walks. "I never had time to notice the changing seasons or really observe the natural world when I was working," he explained. "Now my morning walks are a form of moving meditation. I know which trees the owls prefer, where the first spring flowers appear, and how the quality of light changes through the year. I'm alone, but I never feel lonely in nature." You don't need access to wilderness areas to benefit from nature connection. Urban parks, garden plots, or even a balcony with potted plants can provide natural settings for solitude. The practice of sit spotting, regularly visiting the same natural location to observe changes over time, can create a sense of relationship with place that enriches alone time. For those with mobility limitations, even viewing nature through windows or spending time with indoor plants appears to offer benefits. Some research suggests that even nature imagery or sounds, like rainfall or birdsong recordings, may provide some of the psychological benefits of direct nature exposure. Contemplative practices offer another pathway to meaningful solitude. These might include meditation, prayer, journaling, or reflective reading. Activities that invite us to explore our inner landscape rather than seeking constant external stimulation. Research suggests that regular contemplative practice may support cognitive health, emotional regulation, and even immune function as we age. These practices help us develop comfort with our own thoughts and feelings, reducing the need for constant distraction from ourselves. Jean, a 79-year-old who had initially filled her post-retirement schedule with numerous activities to avoid being alone, gradually discovered the value of contemplative solitude. I was so busy the first year after retiring that I was actually more exhausted than when I worked, she recalled. Then I participated in a meditation workshop and learned to simply sit with myself. Now I treasure my morning meditation time. It's taught me that I don't need to run from my own company. If you're interested in developing a contemplative practice, consider starting small. Perhaps just 5 minutes of seated breathing awareness or a few minutes of reflective writing each day. Many apps, online programs, and community classes offer guidance for beginners. The key is consistency rather than duration, especially when beginning. While we're focusing on finding joy in alone time, it's important to acknowledge that solitude is most beneficial when it exists in balance with meaningful social connection. The goal isn't to replace social interaction with solitude, but rather to develop comfort and fulfillment in both states. Research from the field of positive psychology suggests that both high-quality relationships and the capacity for positive solitude contribute to well-being. Neither extreme isolation nor constant social immersion appears optimal for most people. The healthiest pattern seems to be a rhythmic alternation between connection and solitude. James, a 71-year-old widower, found that developing a balance of solitude and connection enhanced both experiences. After my wife died, I was either completely alone or desperately seeking any social contact to fill the void, he shared. Neither extreme felt right. Now I have my solitude practices, reading, walking, playing piano, and my social commitments with my volunteer work and weekly family dinners. Each seems to enhance my appreciation for the other. If you're concerned that you're experiencing too much alone time, consider ways to build meaningful social connections into your retirement life. Volunteer roles, community classes, faith communities, and interest-based groups can provide social structures similar to what work once offered. The key is finding connections based on shared interests or values rather than merely filling the calendar with any available social activity. For those who live alone and have limited mobility or transportation options, technology can provide valuable connection opportunities. Video calls with family, online communities centered around shared interests, and even AI companions designed for older adults can supplement in-person interactions. While these technologies don't replace the value of physical presence, they can provide meaningful connection points when geographic or health limitations exist. It's also worth noting that pet companionship represents a unique form of connection that many older adults find invaluable during retirement. Research suggests that the bond between humans and companion animals can reduce stress hormones, provide emotional support, and even motivate healthy behaviors like regular walking. For many, the presence of a pet creates a middle ground between solitude and human interaction. Alone but not lonely. Patricia, an 83-year-old who had been hesitant to adopt a pet after her husband died, found that her cat transformed her experience of living alone. There's something about sharing your space with another living being, she explained. I still have plenty of quiet time for my reading and needlework, but there's a comfortable presence in the house. And caring for her gives structure to my days. For those considering pet companionship, it's important to realistically assess your ability to meet an animal's needs given your living situation, health, and financial resources. Some communities offer programs specifically designed to match older adults with appropriate companion animals, sometimes providing support for veterinary care or other needs. Cultural perspectives on solitude vary widely, and examining these different viewpoints can help us develop a more nuanced understanding of alone time. While Western cultures often emphasize sociability and may view extensive time alone with suspicion, Many Eastern traditions have long valued solitude as essential for self-knowledge and spiritual development. The Japanese concept of ukiyo, or the floating world, embraces moments of solitary contemplation as opportunities to see reality more clearly. Similarly, Buddhist traditions emphasize solitary meditation as a path to wisdom. Scandinavian cultures celebrate hygge, creating moments of comfort and contentment that can be enjoyed either alone or with others. Drawing from these diverse traditions, we might develop a more balanced view of solitude, neither idealizing isolation nor fearing aloneness, but rather seeing time with ourselves as a natural and potentially enriching part of a well-lived life. As we consider these various approaches to transforming alone time, it's important to acknowledge that temperament plays a significant role in how much solitude feels comfortable and beneficial. Research on personality suggests that individuals vary considerably in their need for social stimulation versus quiet reflection. Those with more extroverted tendencies may benefit from shorter periods of intentional solitude interspersed with ample social engagement. Those with more introverted preferences might require substantial alone time to recharge after social activities. Neither pattern is inherently better. What matters is recognizing your own needs rather than comparing yourself to others or to cultural ideals. Some retirees find it helpful to track their energy levels relative to social engagement and solitude, noting patterns in mood and vitality. This self-awareness can help you create a retirement rhythm that honors your individual temperament while still challenging yourself to grow in both capacities. Finding joy in connection and in solitude. While most of our discussion has focused on the psychological dimensions of transforming alone time, physical well-being also plays an important role in how we experience solitude. Regular movement, adequate sleep, proper nutrition, and attention to any chronic health conditions all contribute to our capacity to enjoy our own company. Physical discomfort or health worries can make it more difficult to be present in solitude, potentially turning alone time into rumination about bodily concerns. Working with healthcare providers to address pain, mobility limitations, or other health issues can enhance your ability to engage fully in solitary activities you enjoy. So let's recap the key approaches for transforming potential loneliness into enriching solitude after retirement. Practice intentional solitude by deliberately choosing to spend time alone for specific purposes rather than seeing aloneness as merely the absence of social options. Cultivate flow experiences through absorbing activities that balance challenge and skill, allowing for deep engagement when alone. Connect with nature through regular time outdoors, or bringing natural elements into your living space. Explore contemplative practices like meditation, journaling, or reflective reading to develop comfort with your inner landscape. Balance solitude with meaningful social connection, creating a rhythm between alone time and engagement with others. Consider pet companionship as a unique form of connection that can enrich time spent at home. Draw from diverse cultural perspectives on solitude to develop a nuanced understanding of alone time. Honor your individual temperament while gently expanding your capacity for both solitude and connection. Attend to physical well-being to enhance your ability to be fully present during solitude. The retirement transition offers a rare opportunity to reclaim time for yourself after decades potentially spent meeting others' expectations and demands. While this sudden expansion of personal time can initially feel disorienting, it also presents a chance to develop a relationship with yourself that may have been neglected during busy working years. By approaching alone time with intention and creativity, you can transform what might have been lonely hours into a rich inner life that complements and enhances your social connections. Far from being something to fear or avoid, solitude can become one of retirement's unexpected gifts. A space for discovery, creativity, and renewal that may not have been possible in earlier life stages. If this information has been helpful to you, please consider sharing this video with others who might benefit. Many retirees struggle with unexpected feelings of isolation without realizing that transforming their relationship with alone time could significantly improve their experience. Subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based approaches to navigating life's transitions, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Each week, we explore different aspects of aging well, always focused on practical, accessible strategies backed by current understanding. And please, leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with solitude after retirement or any questions you might have. I read every comment and value your input. Your feedback helps guide the topics we address in future videos. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Dr. Rachel Thompson, wishing you fulfilling solitude and meaningful connections in your retirement years. Until next time, take good care of yourself.